So the games are very fresh.
Deadline of that contest is October 28th. That's in a couple weeks. Not even a couple. It's like a week and a half.
What? No, sir?
October 28th.
Yeah, that's actually that's Sunday, the 28th. That's like 12 days from now on, or 11, or maybe 13.
A couple days before you leave us.
One actually. I'm very sad. Rotti's coming home. Obviously, I will be back, guys, one way or the other.
Might have to sneak across the Canadian border.
Yeah, might have to fly to Peru to visit Cats and Ruby, and then go all the way through Guatemala and El Salvador, through Mexico, stop by Juan, hello Juan, and then run across the border into the USA.
Now, I have a friend who
who specializes in human trafficking.
Came to the United States illegally. Have I ever told you this story?
No.
His name was Juan Estrada, and
that's a badass name.
He's from Venezuela.
If I would work. Okay, go ahead.
And the way Juan got here is he went to Mexico, and what is it called when you jump on a train?
I don't know.
There's a word for this.
Jump on a train.
Why can't I think of this word? It's like what hobos do. They jump on a train. They like run up beside the train and they jump on.
No idea what you mean.
What is the word for this? Oh man, this is gonna bother me.
Okay.
Anyway, he boards this train illegally. The train is like going down the tracks from Mexico to Texas, and he runs beside the train, climbs up on top of it, and then gets onto the roof of the train. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna ride this train to the border. But what he didn't know is how long that train trip would take. And so after he got on the train, it started going faster and faster. And eventually it was going so fast that he couldn't jump off. And he didn't stop for 3 days.
No.
So he was stuck on the roof of this train with no food or water for 3 days.
No way, that's a lie.
And when it finally...
Are you serious?
I swear to you. And when it finally got across the border, he was almost dead from having no water.
Oh.
And he just like rolls off the train and limps to a gas station where he has no American money. So he has to like... You know, basically, well, I guess water's free pretty much anywhere you go. But anyway, he got some water and he wound up making it eventually to Georgia, where I met him.
Man, that's an amazing story.
So.
Well, I cannot believe it. You know, when you said first that he was like stuck on the rooftop of the train for like 3 days, I expected that you were going to tell me that by the time the train stopped, he ended up in Toronto and not in Texas. You know, that would be messed up as well. You know, you try to go get into USA, but then the train won't stop, and you end up in Canada. It's like, I didn't sign up for this.
No, he wound up in Texas, but it was a very long journey.
Man, it must have been a slow-ass train.
It's actually a really popular way, or it was at one point a very popular way for people to illegally cross the border. And the train line was famous because you know, there would sometimes be these really horrific incidents where people would try to get on the train and they would fall. Or
don't
get,
tell
like,
me about that,
anything.
man. It makes me sad. Anyways, let's focus on this ZvZ. That's a much brighter story. Both players opened up fairly identical, small differences, but no biggies, man. Zergling speed is about to finish up for Bboong, and it's a little bit slow for Revive, but of course no big deal. Bboong is up 1-0 against the also successful Zerg of TSL. Revival, some people might say like, that name rings a bell, and if you haven't watched any online cups for the last year, Revival was that Zerg back then which attended Into Extreme Masters Global Challenge in Guangzhou, and he played against Idra in the quarterfinals, and that was the only time that Idra smiled in that tournament after he defeated Revival.
Yeah, the very seldom grin that is the Idra smile. It didn't surface at all for the entire tournament except after his victory over Revival. He went on to play Elfie in the finals, and he looked more mad after he won that than he did at any other point throughout the entire event.
Quite a few links over here, but there are banelings as well for Revival. So
wow, great micro by Bboong. Oh, good job using the spine crawler to focus fire that baneling.
Oh, the queen! Oh, the queen ban! It survives with 4 HP. Wow, so unfortunate for Bboong. A little bit sloppy as well, as he could have definitely taken it out. Revival lost a little bit of mining time over there, but overall I'd say that was...
that was great micro from both players.
Cannot believe that queen survived that. I was a bit sloppy by Bboong. He should have never let a queen.
Drone count right now, 37 to 36, 37 to 43 is one more round of drones.
So let's talk about the challenge, man. For the people who want to win that free trip to Lone Star Clash, what do you think is an awesome spot? Like if you were right now, you were competing for that Lone Star free ticket because you want to attend that event, you're a fan at home, you've never been to an event like that, where would you post your flyer?
I think it's because it's the Lone Star Clash in Texas, the state of the Longhorn, that I would find a bull and I would put the flyer on the bull.
That's pretty cool.
Do
you think you would win with that?
Maybe, but the question then becomes, do you make it out of the bullpen? You know, because...
Scars for esports, man. No, that's
So
true
like, if you can
passion.
like smack it on the butt of the bull and then get out, that'd be really cool.
Make
Like,
it a red
you have to
flyer.
like take a video. It's like a flyer. You jump in, you smack the thing on the bull, and then you get out. You get away.
Yeah, that guy should probably win the contest. Oh
think
man, I really
that's what
hope
I
we're
would
not
like.
stimulating nerds to do this right now and then they seriously injure themselves. I would feel pretty bad.
There is a saying. You call it slapping the bull
I have no idea, man.
for doing something that requires you to take initiative.
It wasn't what I was thinking of. I was more thinking of putting it on a beautiful landmark. I
You
don't
also
know.
call it take the bull by the horns.
Just make a beautiful picture.
Oh.
man. Oh.
Bad trade there for Bboong. Running a bunch of lings into a single baneling. Dude, chat thinks they should put the flyer on a Pazuki. I would not be happy with that. That would spoil a perfectly good Pazuki. Oh, again,
No,
Bboong.
that's
Terrible,
a really big one.
terrible exchange there with those lings.
Lost 1,000 resources so far. Of course, Link's still pretty cheap. Panic lands more than halfway down, Ben. On the other side, 4 revival. Well, this time Bboong is the player who is going to play Mutalisk. So we're going to have reversed roles of game number 1, where revival was the Muta player. This time it's Bboong.
Bboong.
Boom boom.
I love that name, Bboong. It's just fun to say.
I don't know. Feels kind of odd.
Muta's popping out for Bboong. Infestor's popping out for Revival. Well, the Infestor player won the last game. We'll have to see if that trend can repeat itself. A little bit of a Zergling run by up here into the main base. Mostly scouting lings. They might manage to kill a drone, though. This is 2 drones, I think. No, only 1. 1 drone taken out there. First Mutas will just kind of run around the map. They're going to kill off a lot of Overlords. But there's not that many Overlords out on the map.
No, not at all. 3 bases already though for both players on either side. This time Bboong takes a small worker lead, man. This is of course because Revival immediately responds with morphing in a few spore crawlers, but what will most likely follow is him reproducing those drones and even making a few additional drones. This is quite a few Mutalisks, by the way. I'm curious to see if he's going to be... Wow, he's still making Mutas,
No,
but
he's also
he's
getting
getting
that armor upgrade. He
upgrade.
thinks his opponent's playing Mutas as well. He's misread the situation terribly.
He thinks this is Muta War, but
I think when he spots these Infestors, we'll probably see him cancel that upgrade.
Yeah,
and
the armor upgrade is not going to be very useful against fungal growth.
He has to see this and cancel. Yep, immediately cancels the armor upgrade.
Smart play there. Of course, Ben, for the people who do not play ZvZ all that often, do you want to explain one more time why it is? Wow, this is funny, by the way.
Oh, but of course, that's just because the in Muta versus Muta, that armor upgrade negates so much damage. The glaive bounces 3 times, so, or I guess the glaive hits 3 targets, bouncing twice, so it'll negate that damage on each bounce, eventually making it go away almost altogether, versus getting the attack upgrade, which doesn't really apply to the bounce. So it's almost a wasted upgrade. Bboong thought he was playing against an opponent who was also going Muta, so he got that armor upgrade in anticipation of that kind of a showdown, but Revival was going Infestor, so he canceled that so that he can invest that gas elsewhere. He gets a Hydra Den, he gets Burrow, he gets +1 ranged attack, and he gets Roach Speed. That said, in spite of all those upgrades, he's still behind Revival when it comes to upgrades. He's already working on +2 Burrow and his own Hydra stack.
Not just that, Ben, he's obviously behind on the roach count as well. Bboong is producing his first roaches now, so it's going to sort of even things out, but Revival, I mean, he has way more supply, but of course 13 Mutalisks take up quite a bit of supply, and I wouldn't say they're going to be useless in this trade-up fight, but if the Fungus are great, they are close to useless. The amount of time that you have to spend on microing and positioning your Mutas is almost not worth it. You can much better use your focus on dropping perfect fungals and getting your roaches in better position. So it's going to be hard, and the supply count is a little bit deceiving.
That said, it's really hard to push out with Infestors when Mutas are on the map, because even if you just take 2 Mutas and right-click on an Infestor, you have to invest energy in protecting that Infestor, but you don't really want to do it for just 2 Mutas.
So it seems like he's going to wait, Ben, as he has the Hydralisk then as well, and he's researching the grooved spines for the upgrade for Hydralisk range. So as soon as he has a few Hydras, he can definitely start moving out. He's going to lose one of the extractors here, but no big deal, as he has plenty of gas.
Still a very cute play, as it will, at least for a little while, deny some of that gas income. I know that would make Andre excited, Kevin. And it's
Andre will be like, this is massive right now in this phase of the game, because as we can see, he dropped from 720 gas to 560, and this also means that he can only produce 3 Infestors in front 4, and he needs the 4th Bongo. It's like, Andre, are you sure about this? Yes, I did the math. Okay, Andre.
It is very important, though, because gas is the limiting factor in like mid-game and late-game ZvZ. Every unit that you want to make costs gas. So whoever
Just because it's true doesn't mean we can make fun of it.
Oh, we absolutely can, and we often do. As Revival is going to go ahead and get out on the map with his first Roaches and Hydras. He just finished up his +2 upgrade. He also has an armor upgrade. So he's a +2 attack, +1 armor against a Bboong, who only has 1 attack upgrade, no armor upgrade. So That's a big advantage for Revival. He definitely wants to try and force a fight before Bboong is able to catch up in upgrades.
Still, man, I can see Fungus hitting big on these Midas, and then it's going to be a very tough fight for Bboong to win. 19 roaches right now in production for Revival. As soon as the overlords pop, Bboong can do pretty much the same, as he has 2,000 minerals. He has the money to make all these roaches, man, but he doesn't have them yet, and he's not producing them yet either. This is a bad engagement though for Revival.
That's a really nice concave for Bboong in a beautiful defensive position. Don't go down that ramp! Oh, huge fungal. Bboong just extending a little bit too far, getting a lot of his roaches caught. Hydra's doing great damage from top of the ramp. Mutas can't really fight though, is the real problem. They just can't engage against Hydras, and certainly not against Infestors, as a couple of those Mutas do take some big damage.
2-1 upgrades as well against 1-0. It's just a world of difference. 2-2 is even going to finish up before anything else. This is 2-2.
Here comes some Infestors. That's a big clump, but the Infestor's not really able to cast in time.
He's going to lose the Infestors. Nice Fungo here by Revival.
That's pretty much just GG.
And now all the Mutas are going to get Fungoed as well. GG is called the tip. Well, I wouldn't say typical ZvZ on Daybreak, but yeah, the ZvZ's been that we're not a big fan of.
Roach Hydra wins games on Daybreak is what it boils down to. A little slower, a little more turtley, a little more boring at the end of the day, but still great play from Revival, who does take that series. Not the series,
and I'm happy for him. And I'm curious to see what we're going to see at game number 3, which is going to be played on Tiga, which should be a much more action-packed game. Of course, a much wider map. In general, much more fun map to cast. ZvZ on.
Opens up a lot of cool new possibilities. Guys, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back with game 3, Revival
TSL
versus Bboong.
Prime.